Hey, welcome. Welcome. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. It's so good to be here in 2021. It's more or less the same for me, but whatever. It's all good. So, yeah, very, very happy to be here. I see Filthy Dan is already in the house. How you doing, Dan? Do your thing, cuz, oh, yes, we'll be talking about that a bit today. One of the many things to talk about in this discussion. Kind of a discussion or rant, as we say. Yeah, thank you, Dan. Just a shout out to Filthy Dan's film discussion and all the other guys from the Stream Demons who, they've been growing their channels very, very well. You got Jason Nike, Matt Facci, Destiny Faulkner. I hope I'm pronouncing people's names right. Chris, who I was just watching Chris Snyder's channel. Chris, you pronounce my name Merlo. Believe it or not, it is common to say Merlo, but it is actually pronounced Merlo. Just so you know. He was wondering that when he was doing his live stream. I think he's still doing it. He's doing a watch party of Disturbia. If you haven't seen Disturbia, go head on over there. Go check it out. You don't have to hang out with me. You can hang out with these guys. And, Good Real Hunting has just hit 100 subscribers on their channel. So good for you, Brad and Brett, for hitting that 100 subscriber mark. I was rooting for you all the way, of course. I may have plugged you a little bit here and there. I'm plugging you guys right now. I'm plugging all you guys because you guys rock. Hilly Billy Man is in the house as well. In the house. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yes. It is a new year. We're looking forward to it. At least I am. I just know wonderful, wonderful things are going to happen this year. Very exciting stuff happening this year. Obviously, I've got my movie thing going. But lots of other stuff to do. A couple little announcements. As you guys can probably see, I've rebranded my channel a little bit. So couple of little things that I'm going to be doing on this channel going forward. I'm going to keep doing this show, obviously, Merlo's Movie Massacre. But I'm also going to I'm going to try doing some pre-recorded stuff. I'm not really much of a pre-recorded guy, but just, anytime there's movie-related news that I just kind of want to quickly get some thoughts out about, I will do. I'm not going to do movie reviews. I'm just not a movie reviewer, guys. I hate to say it. It's not my forte, so I won't be doing that with pre-recorded stuff, but anything that, anytime there's breaking news of something that I find interesting, no matter what it is in the movie industry, I want to talk about it real quick, get my thoughts out there real quick. It could be new Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars stuff happening, so, there could be me talking about that. I am a bit of a fan, as you can see. Yeah. I was pretty stoked when I saw Luke at the end of Mandalorian, even though the CG wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was Luke. That's all that matters to me. It was Luke. Also, I am going to be doing some music stuff on here as well, a little bit here and there. Just maybe posting some of my stuff and I'm also thinking of doing like reaction videos to other bands and stuff that, you guys might find interesting. So you guys can say in the comments if you guys want me to react to a band. I do see that a lot these days on YouTube, and I could see myself doing it. Obviously, if I'm familiar with the group, it's probably not going to be much of a reaction, but more of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say review because sharing my thoughts. I guess I don't know. That's the best way I can put that out. But yeah, Camp Blood Media is in the chat as well. Hey, Josh, how are you doing, man? Good to see you as well. Thank you guys for stopping by, and please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I've seen you guys a million times, so I know that you guys have. You guys are way ahead of the game. But tell all your friends. Tell all your friends to check this channel out, as we got some cool stuff happening. Luke in The Mandalorian was 100 times better than Luke in the sequels. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to get into that right now because you know what? From now on, also, guys, I'm going to be keeping this show, Merlo's Movie Massacre, focused on horror. This will be horror, and like the pre-recorded stuff I do, we'll be talking about Star Wars and The Big Lebowski and other great other great stuff. Anything movie news related. Or Mandalorian, any Star Wars related stuff you could expect me to do in some sort of pre-recorded sort of fashion. Yeah, just saying. And like I said, music stuff, I might be posting some of my original songs. Not that you guys would want to hear it, but hey, the intro that you guys hear, I've said it a million times, that intro and outro is my music. It's all me. It's pretty heavy. Heavy stuff isn't for everybody, but I like some heavy stuff now and again. Yeah, I like everything, but I generally, when it comes to my songwriting, I write a lot of heavy stuff. It's very anyways, it's very heavy. We'll just leave it at that. It's not like everything you hear out there heavy, but it's pretty heavy. Anyways, moving on here. So yeah, thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Check out all those other awesome channels. Also, other channels. We mentioned Good Real Hunting. They've hit 100 subscribers now. Keep promoting those guys too. Though I'm going to be on their channel sometime soon. I think we'll see. Still haven't quite figured out when, but and I won't tell you what. I'll let them talk about that. It won't be me. James Grimm is another great channel. I've been on his as well. Fandom Empire is another great channel. I really like as well. Check all those guys out. They're all really great guys. We have a great community in the YouTube world. And that's all I have to say about that. Now I should also say, oh God, he likes the Hilly Billy Man likes the intro song. Thank you so much, man. I'll maybe send you the whole song. The whole song is over 30 minutes long, though. I actually broke it into 4 parts, though. It's a 4-part song, and that was part of part 3 of the song. Anyways, thanks for the compliment, though. If you like heavy stuff, you'll like that. It's kind of like heavy prog metal. I call it mystical metal. That's what I call my genre. I don't know if that gives you an idea, but it's interesting. Anyways, I didn't want this whole discussion to be strictly me ranting on Texas Chainsaw 3D because, quite honestly, when we get to talking about that, that's more or less what it's going to be. So, since it's still fresh in my brain, it's pretty fresh. So last Merlo's Movie Massacre that we did, I did my first ever trailer reaction, which is another thing you could see me doing more in the pre-recorded style. I don't know if I'll do that live. You never know. I didn't mind doing it live, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I would be willing to do those live, but at the same time, I know that those discussions are only going to be about 20 to 30 minutes long. There's really just not much you can do from a trailer reaction. That's about the longest you can get out of that, and I like to keep my live streams to be, these nice long, at least an hour long type of stream. So I don't know. I'd be open to it, but I'd probably have to attach something else to it. Anyways, but I wanted to talk about It's Me, Billy, and because I've been watching the trailer a little bit more. It's still pretty fresh in my brain, and some of the theories I have, and maybe even a little bit of the things that I would do if I was making a Black Christmas fan film. Hey, you guys can talk about that kind of thing too, if you guys want, in the chat. So I know I didn't really put this in the thumbnail or anything like that, but I just wanted to do it. I didn't want this whole live stream to be about me ranting on Texas Chainsaw 3D. But we'll get there. We will definitely get there. So yeah, I watched the trailer a few more times, picked up on a few little things here and there. Let me know in the chat too what you guys may have picked up on. Really had to listen to Billy's dialogue in the phone call at the end, because I'm one of the first people that's going to tell you that dialogue is going to be important. Okay, Billy's phone calls are not just gibberish. A lot of people seem to think that from the original is that it was just all a bunch of gibberish. But he's actually giving some sort of insight, some backstory through that. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if Bob Clark ever confirmed this or not. I've seen a bunch of interviews, but the voices you hear him do over the phone are like his entire family, like his mom, his dad, and Agnes, and himself. At least that's what I definitely get out of it. I'm not sure if Bob Clark, like I said, I'm not sure if he ever confirmed that that's what he was really doing, because it's very multiple personality-ish. But that's what I always get from those phone calls, because you hear him talking those different voices, and one sounds like an angry man, like his dad would be, and then another one that sounds like a woman, like his mother, and then of course you hear the sibling of Agnes, who's almost like a baby, So I always found that very, very interesting. Yeah, so in that trailer, it sounds to me like the first bit of dialogue, he says, "You let her go," and that's in a very high-pitched voice. I would assume that's him speaking as Agnes. That's what I would think anyways. And then you hear the lower, deeper voice saying, "I found you." And Dave McCrae did confirm this too in one of his recent live streams, so that's what those voices say. So I just, I had to be sure, but I was pretty sure that that's what they were saying. And I feel like now that I know that for sure is the dialogue there, that's basically saying that he let Jess live at the end of the original Black Christmas. Again, just a theory. I could be wrong. Billy just let her live for whatever reason. Billy decided, I'm not gonna be crazy for this moment and let Jess live. But maybe there is some part of him that wishes he didn't let her live. Again, these are just theories, guys, and it's a fan film. I'm not saying I necessarily love these theories, but they could work depending on how Dave and Bruce pulled it off. Have to see the film before we really know. But yeah, the "I found you" is like, I shouldn't have let her go, and now I gotta find her. And whether the character of Jess Bradford is still alive in this new sequel, I don't know. Who knows? She could be. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Interesting stuff for sure. I was thinking before I saw Dave McCrae do a live stream, the same live stream where I got this in, because he was doing kind of a whole breakdown of the trailer. I was thinking it was possible, it was a slight possibility that he was going to mislead the fate of Jess a little bit at the end of Black Christmas, with the opening dialogue between the two girls of, I don't want to end up like her. You're not like her. You're strong like your grandmother, like your grandma. Part of me was like, I wonder if there's a misdirect here at all. I almost felt like there could have been, but then again, Dave McCrae kind of disconfirmed this possible theory. I thought it would have been kind of cool, and this is something I would probably do if I was to do a Black Christmas fan film. Again, the ending of the original Black Christmas is very, very mysterious, a lot of ambiguity, where you don't know the fate of Jess Bradford, and I really, really liked that, and I really was hoping that Dave was going to keep that ambiguity intact. It sounds like he's not, and that's, hey, it's okay. I'm not going to not see the film now because he didn't keep that ambiguity intact. It was, if he found a way to make it work, then then great. But if it was me, My thought when I heard that dialogue in there was maybe maybe Jess lived to have the kid. Like maybe they saved the unborn child that she had, but she ended up dying from the whole incident. And they saved the kid, and one of the other girls from the house, one of the other sorority sisters that went away on vacation, because there was a bunch of girls at the beginning of Black Christmas that they went away they went home for the holidays. So I thought that maybe that could be a possibility. Again, I don't know. It's possible. Let me know your guys' thoughts. But Dave pretty much squashed that idea when I was watching his live stream, saying that they're talking about Jess Bradford in that moment of dialogue. So I just think it would have been a good twist ending if they somehow revealed that the grandmother that this young woman thought she had all along was actually not. And it was one of the other sororities, and hey, your grandmother actually died. It would have been kind of an interesting twist ending. But, it's just a thought. It was a theory I had for a little bit, and then Dave squashed it. And that's all. It's all good. Billy Man says, ending was pretty creepy in Black Christmas. I agree. Probably, I have to do a ranking of my favorite endings at one point, and you can bet that Black Christmas will be in there. I always wonder if anyone went in the attic and looked up there again. You would think at some point it would. You would think the cops would have I would have thought the cops probably would have looked up in the attic at the end there, but I guess not. I mean, it's possible they wouldn't have, but at some point they've got missing bodies and they got to find them. At some point, you think they're going to look up in the attic to make sure. But, at some point they would. I would find that hard to believe that all the bodies wouldn't have been discovered at some point. It may have been a week down the line or something like that. Who knows? Anyways. Oh, I'm missing my thing here. That's all good. Perfect. Anyways. Other things I would do if I was doing a Black Christmas fan film or sequel or what have you, and I can say this because I know 100% that I wouldn't make a Black Christmas fan film or sequel at any point. I don't think so, unless the studio actually paid me a lot of money to, but I don't see that happening, folks. But me personally, I would actually probably set it in the 90s and actually follow Jess Bradford's daughter rather than her granddaughter. That's just a personal opinion, though. I don't know why we have to modernize everything. Said it today. I get we want to be relatable to today's audience, but a lot of these other time periods have something unique to them. I don't see a lot of movies set in the 90s either. Not other than movies that came out in the 90s, So, I mean, I personally think it would be cool to set a horror film in like the mid 90s, or maybe it'd be just a thought. Have it set Christmas 1999. Before the end of the world. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember the whole end of the world thing that was going on. In fact, I mean, I remember when that happened. Gotta remember, I'm old. I'm 40. So I was 19 at that time, turning 20 that year in 2000. But I was 19 at that time, and I used to work like crazy back then. I just used to not sleep. So I had just got home from like a 15-hour shift of working, And I had all these roommates, and this one roommate of mine was gearing up for the countdown, and I guess he really, really thought that the world was going to end on at midnight. And when the ball dropped, we were watching it on TV. The ball used to drop. I don't know if they still do that or not. And the countdown happened, and midnight came. 2000 hit, and all of a sudden, it was 2000, and my roommate turns to me and says, "I am so disappointed. I thought there was just gonna be a big flash, and that was the end of everything. I am so disappointed. I wanted the flash." Y2K, yeah, okay. Josh must be old enough. Excuse me. Josh, you look young though. You look like you're like 25, but if you're 25, that would have made you like 4. You remember when you're 4 that well? I can remember when I was 4, but like not that well. I wouldn't have remembered a term like Y2K. Anyways, that's just what I would do though, and I would try to set up a twist where the main protagonist thinks that this one person is her grandmother or her mother, and we think it's Jess Bradford that she's referring to. We know that Jess Bradford is her actual mother, but then at the end, maybe we meet her mother towards the end, and it's like, "I'm not actually your mother," one of those kind of moments. And then, so you would think Jess Bradford was actually alive through the whole movie. And then at the end you find out, looks like she's not. Anyways, I like twists like that in that kind of a movie. In a movie like that, twists are good in Black Christmas. Like the twist with Peter in the original. Like they set him up as the killer. And there are times when you thought, okay, he's too much of a red herring. He couldn't really be the killer. But is he, though? No, he couldn't be the killer. But is he, though? And you kind of, because I remember watching it the first time, like, no, it couldn't be. I think they're just trying to make us think he is. But could it be? Are they trying to just make us not think that we'll think that he is? I don't know. You know what I mean, right? Anyways, I'm rambling a bit here. Those are just some things I would do if I was doing it. What would you do? What would you guys do? It's the writer and me coming out. You guys know I'm a bit of a screenwriter too, obviously. If I wrote a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre to me doesn't twist ending doesn't work for me in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. It's not the type of movie where a twist actually works. Now you do have to have some sort of things happen, but a big twist like that to me doesn't make sense. Where like one of the reasons why I really hated Leatherface, the most recent one, that is, because I know there's 2 Leatherfaces now. Anyways, you guys are chatting away here, and I gotta read what you guys are saying here. Hilly Billy Man says, "I remember when they said the world would end in 2012 too." And I also remember 2004. They back in the mid 90s, there was some rumor that the world was going to end in 2004. I'm not sure what that one was based off of though, but it was based off of something, and there was a few people said it's 2004. Actually, it's not the year 2000. It's going to be it's going to be 2004. That never happened. And then 2012 was the Mayan calendar, I believe. Was it Mayan calendar? It's just when it's I don't think it was actually a theory that the Mayans had. It was just that was when their calendar had ended. They just didn't, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was them thinking the world was going to end and they're going to predict the end of the world, but it almost ended in 2020, didn't it? Campbell Media. Oh, Josh, you're 28, haha. But okay, you still remember that, eh? You should see me without my beard. Yeah, I know your beard makes you look older. My beard makes me look older too. I probably look older than 40. But I get told that I look younger than 40 when I shave it. So, I don't know. Probably all the weird colored hairs I have in it. I don't. Excuse me. Still get this weird cough. You guys ever get that weird cough that just won't go away? It's very, very, very subtle. It's a subtle cough. It comes and goes. But I end up having it for like 2 or 3 months. Yeah. Anyways, moving on here. So you're 28. So you remember when you're 8 years old pretty well? I guess 7 years old. 7, right? Yeah. I can remember when I'm 7 pretty well. I just don't know if I would remember a term like Y2K. Anyways, I remember it now. But even now, I can barely remember. Reconnected. Okay. I had disconnected there for a second. Hopefully you guys can see me now. I hope. It said OBS disconnected. So hopefully we're good now. I look younger without mine for sure. There you go. Yeah. My friends were mad. He wasn't the killer. Oh, in Black Christmas, I take it. Sorry about that, guys. Let me know if I am back. It says I'm back, but weird connection troubles. I don't know. Filthy Dan is showing me. I don't know if that's. Hopefully, I'm back now. Maybe I should go check on this thing here. Looks like I'm back now. Looks like I'm back. Just looking at my live thing right now. There we go. Okay, I think I'm back. I think so. I think I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Stuff happens. I don't know why these weird technical things happen sometimes. It's an emoji, Steve. Oh, is that actually an emoji? That the circle thing? I should see if I have that one on my phone. But you guys can all hear me now and everything. I thought it was my connection. Okay, there we go. I'm just playing with that last one. Okay, so I am good now, right? Thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up emoji to just tell me that you guys can hear and see me just fine now. And then we can actually talk about this little 3D movie that came out 8 years ago. 8 years ago from yesterday. Hey, Michelle's in the chat now too. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up, Michelle. Came just in time for the technical issues. Or maybe you just missed those technical issues. Good either way. It's good either way. Because we are now going to actually get into the discussion about Texas Chainsaw 3D. Now, I don't like to just rant, people. I almost feel like this might end up turning into a rant. But I do always try to see the positives in movies. There really isn't a lot in this one. I don't know if I would rank it. It would probably make my top 5 worst horror films of all time. Probably. But I am one of those guys that doesn't see a lot of stuff that he doesn't like, simply because I really try to avoid stuff that I assume is going to be bad as much as I possibly can. Thanks for the thumbs up there, guys. Michelle gave me the thumbs up. Filthy Dan gave me the thumbs up. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad I'm back. I hope I'm still back. You guys just keep telling me. You guys always tell me if you can't hear me. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume you guys can. Hilly Billy Man gives me the thumbs up as well. Thank you guys. But yeah, I don't have a lot of wonderful things to say about Texas Chainsaw 3D, but I appreciate that some people like the film. Now, I guess overall, you could get some sort of entertainment value out of how goofy some stuff is. I mean, what's with the thumbs down? Oh, Texas Chainsaw 3D, thumbs down. Okay. TCM. Don't even call it TCM because it's just Texas Chainsaw. They had to take off the Massacre for that for that one. Hey, good real huntings. I'm guessing Brett, because usually Brad's actually has his name on it. But what's up, Brett? Thank you for coming in just in time for me to actually talk about this movie. We're just getting into it now. But, so what was I saying? You can get some entertainment value out of the film. Maybe that's why I wouldn't rank it as like the lowest horror film ever of all time sort of thing. But it's pretty freaking low. I laugh at certain things I see in like clips. I think it's funny. But the thing that's brutal is they were taking themselves so seriously you could tell like they were trying to make something that people would take seriously, but there's just no way because it was so poorly done. Okay, so let's start at the beginning here. Let's just get into this. Now, a lot of people, for all intents and purposes, actually like the beginning of this film. And that's great. Yeah, it's all right. Better than Leatherface 2017. Okay, so you like this one better than Leatherface 2017? To me, they're close. To me, they're very, very close. I have talked about both of these films briefly before in my ranking video of the Chainsaw films. So I'm going to get more into it. But I do rank Leatherface 2017. Just, excuse me. Whew, that was a big one. Sorry, guys. That's how you know it's live. It's not edited. If I'm going to belch, it's live. And this is just water. Water doesn't usually make me belch like that. It is Brett. That must have been funny to watch. I hope you guys got a kick out of that. Usually if I'm drinking stuff like beer or something, of course I'm going to belch. Or even pop, but I don't really drink pop. Not much of a pop guy. But anyways. What was I saying? I get off track so much. A little belch like that, a little burp like that can make me lose my focus so easily. In the chat we got, yeah, true. Good Real Hunter says, you're catching on, Steve. This is Brett, man. Yeah, I am catching on. Now I know you guys got two different identities. Leatherface was nearly unwatchable for me. This is Can't Blood Media. Thank you, Josh. Leatherface was too much. Yeah. I agree with you. I definitely agree, but I'll get into why I hate this one just a little bit more. They're very close to me, though. They're very, very, very close. Texas Chainsaw 3D and Leatherface. But I think this one, I mean, it has its fans. Texas Chainsaw 3D does have its fans. And I can appreciate why they like it to a point. But I totally disagree with them. I'm sorry, guys. Hilly Billy Man says, Texas Chainsaw 3D was just bad. I will say, though, the guy that played Leatherface did good for what he had to work with. I was just going to say that. If there was any sort of bright moment in the film, it really probably was the guy playing Leatherface. I believe his name was Dan Yeager. Dan Yeager. I don't know if he was the best looking Leatherface as far as his build goes. Because he was a little bit skinny for Leather. He was really tall. I think they said he was the tallest one, but he seemed, maybe it's because he's so tall that he seems skinnier and not quite as bulky as a Leatherface really needs to be. But that's what I noticed. That would be my only beef with him. But he actually I felt like he kind of had the movements close. Anyway, at least better than some of the other incarnations. Because it's not just you cast a big guy and no matter what, some big ass dude is going to do a good job. Leatherface is very much a physical character, and you have to get his physical movements correct, otherwise it just won't work. So if there was any bright shining moment, that was probably it. But a lot of people say they really like the intro, the beginning of this film that takes place right after the original, and I get that. There are things I like about it. They recreated everything in it, like they recreated the house. But there's some things I don't like about it as well. I'll get into a little bit here. This intro scene, Yeah, okay, so we see Bill Moseley is okay as Drayton. I don't think he made a great Drayton, but he was okay. Whoever did Grandpa's makeup, I don't know what they were thinking on Grandpa's makeup there, because it doesn't match with the original. And even if you maybe they did that thinking, well, this looks like a better makeup for an old guy, which I don't think it does personally. Um, the fact is, you show all those shots at the beginning that take place that are from the original, and you have the original Grandpa in there, and it is even John Dugan playing Grandpa. And by the way, John Dugan was in our trailer voicing Grandpa. Thank you, John, for doing that. He's not watching, but but I was really appreciative of him to do that, giving a voice to Grandpa for the first time in our trailer. Go check it out if you haven't. But I'm sure you guys have. Sorry, I'm missing all your chats. I have to go on about this though. I'll try to go back and read some of your chats there, guys. But the thing is, you have those shots in the beginning of the film with the original Grandpa look, and then this is supposed to be like, honestly, minutes after, maybe an hour or so after, who knows. And you have this completely different look for Grandpa. It to me, it doesn't make sense. When you have a budget and you're following a particular thing, and you're actually using that in your film, it does not make sense to change the look because you think this looks better. If that was the case, or maybe it was just, I don't know. They had a budget. This was, I believe this had a $20 million budget, which is probably about average for a horror movie, but it's still a budget. You have money for makeup. The original film had a budget of something like $80,000, folks. Mind you, it was the 70s, so that's inflation is probably like, I don't know, $500,000 now, but still, 500,000 versus 20 million, it's still, not even close. It's not even close. The makeup was brutal. So I think there was a bad creative mistake myself. I know a lot of people won't complain about that. It's not one of my hugest beefs with it, but it's one of my biggest beefs with this beginning part. The other beef I have with it is Leatherface. And again, it has to do with makeup and wardrobe and all this stuff. Look, did people really think that we would buy this as an exact copy of Leatherface at the end of the original? That looks ridiculous, folks. That looks ridiculous. I've seen people make better Leatherface masks than that. Just using what they got. I just don't get it. This is a $20 million film, and that was what they made? Like, I saw this movie with my then girlfriend, now wife, when it came out 8 years ago in the theaters, and she was reluctant to see it. I had just shown her the original, though, and the original scared the shit out of her. It scared the shit out of her. She was just, as soon as Leatherface came on screen, she never stopped screaming. And I remember that. I remember showing it to her thinking, you're probably not going to find it that scary because it's an old movie. But I still think it's scary as hell. And she started watching it. And as soon as Leatherface hit, the screams never stopped, And so she was reluctant to go see this with me. And I'm like, I said to her, this doesn't look very scary. And it didn't look. And it wasn't. But she didn't have the issues with this film that she didn't have problems watching it like she did with the original, that's for sure. But as soon as that shot came on, guys, it was like, what the hell were they thinking? What is going on here? Where is your $20 million budget going? Well, I guess it went down to burning down that house. They essentially rebuilt the original house from the original film and burnt it down just to burn it down. Rebuild everything and then burn it down. There's a good part of your budget right there. You're spending your budget on things that, I guess it was in the script to do that, but It shouldn't have been. I don't know. I don't think they needed to. And quite honestly, I wish that they were able to continue the story in such a way that didn't happen, but it did. Whatever. Because then that's when the movie really starts to get bad, is when we skip ahead to 2012. It says it on a gravestone, and you know what? I'll address this too, guys. The time issues are issues, but honestly, things bother me more than the timeline issues in this movie. They really do. They really do. So, I mean, those are my beefs with the intro. We'll get into. I'll read some of your chats now, and then we'll get into other stuff. I'm missing a lot of chats here, so I gotta go back a little bit here. Okay, Illy Bandit, man, Camp Blood Media. I think he was a total miscast, looks wise. Oh, okay, so Leatherface we're talking about. Sorry, I had to go back a little ways here, guys. Filthy Damn says, I wanted this film to work. I did too. Oh, yeah, I did. I've been wanting it to work for a long time. Seeing as it could have been my birthday movie when it came. Oh, happy birthday. So I take it your birthdays are pretty quick here. Today I have a few issues that stand out terribly, but with a few beers, it's a fun film. It would be more than a few beers for me, I'll tell you that. Camp Media, I like the 2003 version of Leatherface. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. As a Leatherface, no. I would say I actually, and again, it's just difference of opinion, Josh, but, I don't really like the 2003 version of Leatherface costume-wise, and the way, I don't really care for the way the guy portrayed Leatherface either. But, that's because I'm such a fan of the original. That's just me, though. That's just me. I know 2003 version has a lot of fans, and I've talked about that film to quite an extent on here before. But so I won't bother getting into that today. You can look back on, I did another whole video talking strictly about that one, I think. Anyways. Hilly Billy Man, yeah, he tried to have the moves like Gunner had. Yeah, he did. Maybe he tried a little hard. He even limped his leg, still messed up. He did. I think he did pretty good considering his look wasn't quite right. His build wasn't quite right. Again, I don't like the costume. I don't like the masks. I don't know what the idea was with those masks. So we'll get into the masks in a little bit. Michelle says they were too clean-cut looking. I take it we're talking about the kids when we get further into it. Grandpa's makeup was just awful. Yeah, I agree. But not as awful as the intro Leatherface. I mean, the intro Leatherface baffled me. It baffled me. There are cheap fan films that make better Pretty Woman masks than that one. I'm serious. There are crappy fan films that are using better masks than that. I'm sorry. This is turning into a little bit more of a rant, but that was awful. I'm sorry. I don't know who approved that. It almost looks CG. I wonder if they actually CG'd that, because it looks so bad it looks CG. That's what I think. I've seen better. Yeah, there you go. Hilly Billy Man, you said the exact same thing. There you go. Michelle, I think they went Halloween USA to get to Halloween. I've never been there, so I have no frame of reference. I'm in Canada, guys. I'm Canadian. We don't have that ticket. It's a store, Halloween USA. Yeah. The house didn't look nasty enough either. Yeah, it was, it's close enough for me, but at the same time, it's not something I'm going to make, I'm not going to be too nitpicky about, I guess. But you are right. It was enough for me, but it's not something that, it didn't stick out like a sore thumb like Leatherface's mask did. But honestly, Grandpa's makeup didn't stick out that much to me either. They didn't put enough focus on him, though, either. There wasn't a lot of focus on John in that. He was just kind of there. But it didn't look right. Definitely didn't look right. What else we got? Too clean looking at the house. Good Real Hunting. Only thing that got me through the movie was Alexandra Daddario. Yeah, I guess her looks, her acting. We'll get to the acting. I think that we've caught up on the chat. So we skip 25 years later, and it's 2012 instead of 1993. Was again the timeline issues. I mean, they're stupid, but at the same time, I whatever. Whatever. That's all I can say is whatever. Because this is my United States of whatever. Some of you might know that. I don't know. Haven't heard that song in a while. Okay, getting it. So yeah. So here are the things I dislike more than anything else. These are my biggest issues with Texas Chainsaw 3D. The story, first off. There are so many plot holes in this movie that it's hard to even get into. It might take me I might need another video to go over all the plot holes. I might have to actually rewatch the film to find every plot hole that made me say, what? But a great example of one of the worst plot holes that really sticks out in my mind. And you guys, I mean, when this happened in the movie, I was like, I can't believe that this just happened. So they picked up that hitchhiker that they never met before, took him all the way to grandma's house, who was filthy, filthy rich, and his big ass mansion and everything. And they say they're gonna go out. I can't remember what it was they're doing. They're gonna go do something, get something, or whatever. So all the rest of them leave in the van, and they leave the hitchhiker there to watch the place. And he's like, I'll just be hanging out, chillaxing, and I think even Alexandria Daddario's character kind of looked back a little bit, like, but is that all you're really gonna do? You just met this guy, you're leaving him alone with the skeleton key and everything. I mean, is that not like the worst possible writing ever? Like, come on, a 4-year-old could have written something better than that. Again, I know that the film has its fan base. Hopefully nobody in the chat right now, but again, I don't want to sound like if any of you guys in the chat actually like this movie, I apologize if it really sounds like I'm just pure bashing the movie. Because quite honestly, I want to see the good in this movie. I really do. I want to see more good in the film than I do. I've pretty much said all the good things I can about this movie, but that is such a terrible plot hole. Yeah, they must have been pretty trusting. I don't call that pretty trusting. I call that pretty stupid. And the thing is, if the people are that stupid, how am I going to root for them in this? How am I supposed to root for somebody when you do such a stupid thing? That's just one. It was a bad one, though. It was really bad. It bothered me. I'm watching this movie. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? You just predicted everything that was going to happen in this movie. You could predict it. From the bad dialogue to the crappy acting to the terrible plot holes and everything. It was not a good film, guys. It really wasn't. And I really wanted to like this movie. I always rooting for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film to be good. So I actually paid money to see this movie with my wife, who was then my girlfriend. We'd only been dating for 5 or 6 months by that point. but I went and saw Twilight with her, so she went and saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre with me. Or this may as well have been Twilight too. This may have been a Twilight movie as well. Oh my goodness. So I mean, plot holes, guys. Oh my god. The writing was terrible. Apparently this was written by the same guy that wrote Jason Goes to Hell. I don't know the guy's name off by hand. But I know that that's not one of the well-liked Friday the 13th movies. So I know, and there's some Friday the 13th fans in the chat. Definitely Camp Blood Media there. Josh, what do you think of Jason Goes to Hell? Maybe you love it. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like Jason Goes to Hell. I only saw it once. Again, I'm not a big Friday the 13th guy though, so that's just my thing. Hilly Billy Man says, John Lucenhop hasn't directed another movie since. I think that says it all. Well, yeah, no kidding. Degree Centigrade. Hey, we got a new chatter there. I'm not sure if we've ever had you in the chat before. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much. We are talking Texas Chainsaw 3D, the movie that came out in beginning of 2013, so 8 years ago. 8 years ago tomorrow, to be exact. You like Jason Goes to Hell, okay, but it's easily the worst. So, you're one of those that just likes all the movies in the franchise, and it's all good. I don't know. I've just never been a Jason guy. So that's, Anyways, if you're new to the chat, Degree Centigrade, say so. It'd be nice and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't yet. And tell me, have you seen this movie, Texas Chainsaw 3D? What did you think of it? We're kind of roasting it a little bit tonight. Pretty much everybody in the chat is taking a little bit of a jab at it a little bit. Because honestly, it's not my cup of tea. I would rank Texas Chainsaw 3D the worst of all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, which would rank it pretty high in my worst horror films of all time. It wouldn't take number one. Ooh, but I could see it getting in the top 3. Definitely top 5. There you go. Degree Centigrade says yes. Yes, you've seen the movie, or yes, you like the movie. It's okay if you do. It's okay if you do. That's okay. But if you do, what did you like about the movie? I've kind of already said everything that I actually do like about Texas Chainsaw 3D. You liked it, okay? That's you're probably the first one in our chat so far to say anything nice about it. But do go ahead, tell me anything that particularly stuck out to you as far as the film goes. Because I'm interested to know what it is about why the fan base actually liked this movie. Because I personally can't see anything like, nothing much anyways, too much to like. But it's all good. It's subjective, guys. Film is subjective. So let's be nice in the comment section. We gotta, everybody has a different opinion. Like I said, right off the top of the bat, some people, this film does have its fan base. So, I do want to keep it pretty nice if we can, but I am going to get into more of the issues that I do have with the film. If you missed a little bit, you can go rewind and see a little bit. You can go back and see some of the issues I have with the film. And again, I hope it doesn't seem like I'm just totally trashing the film, but I just don't like it. There's so many issues for me. Let's get into the acting a little bit. Again, that's subjective too, but I hate the acting. For the most part, the acting was really cringeworthy to me. Mind you, they didn't have a lot to work with, but I really was wanting to hope that the victim characters in this movie were going to deliver terrifying performances of them being scared and stuff like that, and all the screams and whatnot just felt super forced. Trey Songz, he was a famous rapper. I've never heard his music. I guess they had his music playing at some point. in the movie. I think when they're playing pool, they're listening to his music. Sorry, not that one. Yeah, there he is. There, Trey Songz. He's been in the news recently too. He sounds like a bit of a douchebag. I'm just gonna say it. I don't know all the details of this story, but apparently he had COVID, and then after he was fully recovered from COVID, he decided he's going to throw some big party in a venue with 500 people, 500 people venue, without any sort of social distancing and everything, no masks, and I don't know. It's like you just had COVID and you're doing this. I don't know. Got no respect for that, that's for sure. The effect of the movie were great. Like the special effects. I wouldn't tell that to a makeup artist or a special effects person. There was the CGI kills and stuff. It's. I mean, if that is what you're talking about, whether you're talking about the effects or if you're, who did that, Steve? Who did what? Who did what, Josh? Anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, the acting. Again, poorly written script though. So I mean, it's that's the special effects. Yeah, it was the blood and gore was all CG though. It was all nothing was practical, and it was very obviously CG. Really. So I mean, the horrible COVID. Yeah, the who did that? It was Trey Songz, Josh. Trey Songz, who was in Texas Chainsaw 3D. I think that's what Josh is asking. Is who had COVID and then all of a sudden decided to throw a COVID party, I guess. Where, hey, we can all get COVID together. Isn't that great? That's where COVID is deadly. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know. You're not making us human beings look very smart, are we? If I got COVID, I'd probably never go outside again. I don't know. I had to be tested for COVID once, and that alone was enough for me to, I didn't have it, but the fact that I had to stay home for 4 days before I got my results back, and my wife couldn't go to work either because she's a essential service, but she wasn't allowed because she's around patients and stuff. So anyways, I won't go too hard into that. It's actually 8:00 already, and we'll go on longer, but still, I'll go on as long as I have to talk about this stuff. Yeah, acting wasn't good to me. It's okay if the special effects worked for you degree centigrade. They didn't for me. They didn't to me. To me, this whole movie was a big cash grab. Even the 3D to me wasn't very good. Hey, Matt Fatchy's in the chat as well. Thank you for coming in, saying hi. Want to check and say what's up? It's all up. We're kind of roasting a movie. We got one person in the chat that likes the movie, though, so that's good. Maybe you do, too. Matt, do you like Texas Chainsaw 3D? You like it? Again, I know the movie does have its fan base. It has its fan base. Not for me. Didn't like the gore. Storyline, the acting, the dialogue, guys. Oh, boy. Did we get some of the most cringe-worthy lines in the film or what? That barn scene when it's the girl and Trey Songz and welcome to Texas, motherfucker. Well, why are you saying welcome to Texas to somebody who's from Texas? And apparently they weren't from Texas. That just, I don't know. That seemed pretty weird. It was bad dialogue. And then, right after that, the whole, he says, did you hit it? And she's like, I don't know. And then again, he says, did you hit it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know either. That was, I don't know. I laughed. I know. Yes, I know. Do your thing, cause it was pretty cringeworthy. This movie has a lot of cringeworthy dialogue, and you know what? It would be a different thing if all of this was on purpose. If all of the whacked out stuff was done purposely to make the movie funny, make it like a spoof. But the movie overall doesn't come across that way. It doesn't come across like they're trying to make a funny movie, like they're trying to make a typical B movie. It felt like they were trying to make a serious film with this, and it failed miserably because of poor writing, poor execution, and going back to the director too. I saw in an interview with him and John Campea. John Campea said, "Hey, what made you want to do this movie?" And the guy actually said, "Well, I've never done horror before." So it's like he wanted. You're gonna give a guy who's never made a horror film ever a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. I think that's stupid. The guy he was obviously not a horror guy. It shows. It shows that this was done by somebody who was not a horror guy. And honestly, I couldn't name another film that he's ever done. I probably haven't seen any of his other films. And like, who was it that said back earlier that he hasn't made a film since in 8 years? He hasn't. That movie was probably career suicide for him. Yeah. So I mean, what else can I say about the film? Is there any sort of positive things? No, I don't. And I think the biggest, I got more negative stuff to say. I hate to say it, guys. At the end of the day, I watch horror films to watch something scary. Unless, of course, it is like a horror comedy, something campy, where I want to kind of laugh and say, oh my God, look how stupid that was. But I can't watch this film as a horror comedy because A, it's not funny. It's only funny if you're kind of laughing at some stupid things, but at the end of the day, there's not enough funny stuff in it to make it a funny movie. And then you can't watch it as a horror film, as a straight up scary horror film, because it's just not scary. The movie's not scary at all. There's nothing scary about this film. It gave me nothing to be scared about. And going on to the last little aspect, the whole anti-hero aspect of this film, of turning Leatherface into a sympathetic character, it's stupid. How am I going to be scared of this guy if you're making him sympathetic? I can't take it seriously. So again, hey, it worked for sorry, I got to go back and see what your name was again. It worked for Degree Centigrade, and that's cool. It's cool. I'm glad it worked for you. It did not work for me. It didn't work for a lot of people. I know the vast majority of people didn't like the film, but at the same time, it's cool if you liked it. I'm glad some people can get something out of it. I can't. At the end of the day, I feel like this movie was just made as a cash grab. I mean, the whole 3D aspect was totally a cash grab. I don't know about anybody else who saw the movie in theaters. We didn't get a choice. So there was no choice to watch it in 2D, in standard 2D definition. There was no choice. It was 3D or nothing, and you had to pay the extra for it. So I mean, what a cash grab is all I can say. It wasn't even good 3D. I thought it was pretty poor, actually. The 3D was, ugh. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it, guys. The anti-hero thing, the dialogue, the acting, everything to me just, it didn't work for me. Degree Centigrade says, is that movies that you can watch just one time and no more? Yeah. I hate to say it, this was one of those movies I've seen. Since then, I have gone back to see little clips of things I haven't gone back and rewatched the entire movie, though. Hey, Mandy Cantone's in the chat. Sorry I wasn't able to get on tonight on this time. Well, you're here now. You're here now. So, but we are only going on for a few more minutes. But as you guys know, I am making a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, a fan film, of course. It's not a studio film. You can guarantee that I'm not going to be doing anything like Texas Chainsaw 3D, but no, my film is a prequel. And most of you guys know that already, but some of you might not. I'm not sure. Probably you all do. I mean, I say it enough. I got the links in the description, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But, oh, and Fangoria Faithful is also on as well. Joe, nice to see you coming in at the end. Hey, there's nothing wrong with coming in at the end to say hi. Happy New Year. All hope you all had a great one. Yeah. Hey, Steve. What are you chatting about tonight? Just made it. Yeah, well, you're late. I don't know if you, because you know what? I normally do my show at 8, and I did it at 7 this time because I could. I try to do it. I want to do it at 7 just so I can get to some of the friends I have in the East Coast on. I don't even think many. Well, Josh made it on. Josh makes it on usually anyway. So, Camp Blood Media. Go check out his channel, guys. Camp Blood Media is pretty awesome. Yeah, a lot of great channels, and we had Good Real Hunting in here tonight. I don't know if they're still here, but congratulations, Brett and Brad, for hitting 100 subs on your channel. You guys are doing awesome stuff over there. I love it. I love it. I love this YouTube family I've become a part of. I'm sure you guys were already kind of a family before I came along, but, well, I don't know. Some of you maybe, some of you not. I don't know. But all I can say is you guys rock. And I look forward to being on all your guys' channels at some point. Josh, we got to set something up. I'm going to be on your channel one of these days. We'll see. Oh, you bastard. Joe Fangoria Faithful Joe says, oh, you bastard. It's all good, man. A great show. It's all good. We are talking Texas Chainsaw 3D. Essentially, it was mostly a roast, but we do have one person in the chat that likes the movies, and likes that particular movie. I don't know if Degree Centigrade likes all the Texas Chainsaw movies. Again, when it comes down to it, I'm only really a fan of the original, guys. So that's where I kind of fit in a little bit, as I don't really like the other films in the franchise. I know a lot of people, huge following for the 2003 remake, and I'm kind of For sure, yeah, Josh. Yeah, we gotta hook something up. And all my actors want to be guests on your shows too. A lot of my actors from the Sawyer Massacre want to be guests, but I know some of you have set some stuff up with some of the actors, but they'll be interested to see how those go. And I'm sure as we get closer to our next Indiegogo campaign in March 1st, Indiegogo campaign number 2 drops. Is going to be a good one. We do have some cool stuff cooking for that, just so you guys know. I don't want to say anything at this point because I don't want to jinx anything either, because we got something kind of on the go here. Hoping to deliver something kind of cool for you guys for the next campaign. And again, I'll say it again, my sub count is still going up a little bit every time. But if we can hit 1,000 subs on our channel, we're going to do a big Merlo's Movie Massacre where we do a giveaway to somebody in the chat. We're going to do a draw. It'll be just a random draw. You just have to be in the chat that night. If we hit 1,000 subs, we have to hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel. It's not that far away. It's not like super far away. We're at, I think, 824, somewhere in there. So another 175 subs, we'll get there. There you go. A Degree Centigrade says, the first ones I liked, but not so much, like other kind of horror movies. Oh, okay. Feel free to let me know what other kind of horror movies you like. Fangoria Faithful Joe says, they have their charm, but yeah, the OG is always the best. And oh yeah, no spill the beans. I won't. especially because I don't know 100% if it's gonna work. We're kind of going against the odds on something. I'll just say that it's tricky to pull off what we're trying to pull off. If we actually pull it off, I'll kind of make it a little announcement. If we pull it off, I have to be able to pull it off though. So again, we're less than 2 months away from the next Indiegogo campaign though. So yeah, there's lots on the go. Let's just say that. Lots on the go. We're really looking forward to it. The Sawyer Massacre. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Your social media platforms, basically. Even have a Reddit. You can check it out. I don't use the Reddit I'm not a big fan of Reddit, to be honest with you, but I try to use it from time to time. Try to go on Reddit from time to time and just post. Sometimes I just today I posted the link to this. I don't know if any of you came from Reddit. I think most of you are just people I know already. I already know most of you guys. Degree Centigrade though, you're new, so I don't know where you came from. Feel free to let me know where you came from as well. So how you discovered Merlo's Movie Massacre. And this is our 15th episode. Pretty happy that we made it 15 episodes. And we will be back on Friday for episode 16. I'll post an announcement what we're going to be discussing on that. Reddit is nasty with comments, Josh said. You are right. You are right. Yes, but Joe, we are going to talk more. We got to go over. Joe is a graphic designer from Fangoria Faithful guys in the chat. He's really great. He does amazing work. He's been working on some stuff for us, for the Sawyer Massacre, that is. And yes, we do have to talk because there are some cool things we need to talk about. We need to set up a chat, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's I think that's all we gotta talk about today. I think I got all my negative feedback out. Yeah, just looking over my notes here, making sure that I said everything I needed to say. Again, I could go into more detail about Texas Chainsaw 3D, but I'd probably have to rewatch the film, and I don't think I really want to do that. But I know there's a lot of weird plot holes. The plot holes is the one thing I know that there's a ton of. I just gave you the one example of the one with the hitchhiker. God, it just anyways, it wasn't for me, and that's fine. And that'll be the end of our show today, guys. Yeah, we went to an hour and 15 minutes, so that's good enough for me. Let me know if you guys have any questions, though. Feel free to comment if you have any other questions. Joe's just saying my pleasure. Always up for a chat. Yeah, now that we're into the new year, Joe, let's set up a chat. We need to now because I'm getting a little bit more time on my hands now. Busy tomorrow, but maybe Tuesday. Next movie, Merlo's Movie Massacre, will be Friday, and that's it. I'll announce what the topic will be for that one. I already have the topic in mind, but like and subscribe, share this stuff, all that wonderful stuff, and listen to some Merlo metal.